Hey, tomorrow I have a psychiatrist appointment. When I was there the last time, my psychiatrist told me that they, like surgeons and doctors, do rounds, so they get moved around from like different practices. So when I go back, I'm gonna have a different guy. And I haven't been in 2 months, so I'm just gonna do some journaling for beforehand. So I'm just gonna like write down some little things. Okay, I just tied up my hair, so things are getting good. So I want to talk about my medication. I want to talk about my symptoms. I want to talk about good things and bad things. And then I'm also just going to journal, I think, about the last 2 months. So that is, I'll just do like July and August so far. So about the last 2 months, so that I could just get a better sense of like how I feel myself, how it's been, and like how I've been getting on. So the last 2 months. So, and that will be a nice little prompt for me tonight. But right now I'm going to talk about my medication. So like that's obviously what I'm going to be going there for tomorrow, to see if it's okay and see if it's suiting me. So I have my morning medication and my evening medication. Okay, so my morning medication is definitely good. I like it. I want to stay on both of these. My evening medication is good, but I do need to tell them that my side effects are that it makes me hungry and that it gives me restless legs. So I've actually started taking my evening medication at night time because I get restless legs. And restless legs are so annoying. So, and then the only side effect of my morning medication is that I think I'm sweating more, but I'm not sweating profusely, but it was also warm. But I think that that's a common side effect with morning medication. So yeah, but overall I'm gonna say that they are overall good, which is really exciting. Okay, so then my symptoms, and that's of my mental illness. So okay, so now I'm gonna go on to good things, which are like good things that I've done. There's definitely been loads of good things, which is so nice and like makes me feel proud of myself. So like some of the good things include like that I have been dog sitting, that I've been cycling to work, have a better headspace. I read 2 books on holidays, which was really cool because usually I wouldn't have had the headspace to like take in like information. So I'm gonna say that I read 2 books on holidays and I'm getting back into reading. And then the bad things, I suppose they're the same as symptoms. Sometimes I forget to take my medication. I'm happy with that, to be honest. I think that's really good. I have the GoodNotes app on my phone, so tomorrow when I go in there as well, I can just open it up and this like digital journal will be on my phone, which is amazing. So I'll have all of these handwritten notes, which is just the best, because sometimes I find when I go into the like appointment I blank and can't think of anything, and that's really not helpful, just a waste of my time and the psychiatrist. So I definitely want to remember everything. If there's anything important, that I make sure that I write it down and that I bring it up. Then I'm just gonna write 3 highlights all the last 2 months because I think it's good, and even in between sessions for myself to like look at. Okay, that's amazing. I'm gonna get ready for bed. I am home from psychiatrist and I feel so much better. I always feel so much better afterwards. Beforehand, I just feel stressed. I'm going to do some journaling about it so that I can like take notes after every session. I do this sometimes after therapy sessions as well. I need to get better at it, where I take notes after the session so that I can remember what was said, what my therapist or psychiatrist told me, so that when I look back I can read it, because obviously it's valuable at the time. Literally the minute I come out of like a psychiatrist appointment or a counselling session, it's just like, so I'm writing it down. So I'm gonna write down the date, which is Thursday the 18th of August, and it is post Hey. Doing a post-psych appointment notes.
It's nice up here.
So I had a new psychiatrist and I'm going to write down his name if I can remember it. Okay, new psychiatrist, and he upped my meds. Yo! He wrote down that I have a generally stable mental state or something. Yeah. He was like talking as he was writing. He was like, stable mental state. And I was like, that's great.
You do though now, thank God.
That's great. And I'm going back in November. I'm trying to think what else I need to write down to remember. Okay, and I have a 3-month script. And then I'll just do a little journal moment afterwards. Oh yeah, I have to write down that he like wrote down that I did this form of therapy that I just didn't. But he was kind of like, okay, yeah, this, and then was just writing, and I was like, okay. So I'll need to remember that for next time. It's like, don't, when people are like, don't tell lies because you have to remember them, because you don't have to remember the truth. Also, this guy was like to me, do you have a medical card? And I was like, no. I just said I wish. I thought it was funny, and just in general. And then he was like, oh, can you get one? And then I was like, I don't think so. Like, probably would have been able to, but not right now because I'm in a job that has a salary. And he was like, take a high salary over a medical card any day, girl, and all this. He's like, a medical card can get you medication, a salary can get you a holiday. So yeah, and I feel so much better afterwards. I literally felt sick in the taxi there. He told me to keep up my therapy. So he asked me what brings me joy, and I was like, I think I said cycling to work, and then I didn't want to be like YouTube, but I was like, I enjoy recording and editing videos. And then he was like, do you have a YouTube channel? And then I was like, well, trying. And then he was like, girl, there's so much money in it. So I'm not putting this on. This is genuinely his accent. He was like, I don't think that I could do that because I don't think I could put my face out there, but if you can do that, do it. There's so much money to be made. It's like, to me, Renee, is that a common name in Ireland? And I was like, no. And then I was like, you pronounce it right, and a lot of people do. And he was like, what do they call you? And then I was like, Renee or Renee. And then he was like, oh god. And then I just told him like, it's Renee, like Renaissance. And then he was like, I haven't stopped listening to that album since it came out. And then he was like, this is my favourite song. I didn't even know who he was on about, obviously Beyonce. And then he was like, I love that song that goes like, and then he started singing like, good, fully in the session. And I was actually sitting there being like, and then he's like, I love that album. And I was like,
that's actually funnier hearing it the second time. Like, that's mad. Like, you were literally there for a psychiatry appointment.
I think I was there for probably 10 minutes. So I'm going back in November in 2 months. But if I have any problems with my medication or anything, I can just like ring them and then like create a new appointment sooner. And I asked him like, will he be there in November? And he said yes, that he's here for a year, which is nice. This new psychiatrist was literally so nice, and the last guy was so nice as well. But I first went in just March, so I only had the last guy for maybe like 4 sessions, and then he switched. That's why I was like really nervous about going, because I just didn't want to have a bad time, and for this service to be something that I dread or just like not a good experience, even though like it is like the outcome of it is that like I'll be getting prescribed like medication, which is excellent, and I'm doing a treatment plan. But I feel like the stereotypical psychiatrist, and like maybe I'm wrong here, but I feel like the stereotype is so different from like what I've experienced, my reality. So definitely, if anybody here is going to a psychiatrist for the first time and doesn't know what to expect and is worried, if you have a psychiatry appointment, they'll probably be really nice and personable. There's literally nothing to be worried about, especially when it comes to the psychiatry appointment. Just go in, chat, they're there to care about you, and they'll just ask you updates. Yeah, it's a service and you're the patient. I might do a video on what my first psychiatry session was like, because that one's like really different and it's quite long, and there's an assessment and how I prepped for that, if that's what people might like. I wanted to do this video because, well, first of all, when I was going through all of this, when I got referred to a psychiatrist and everything, and like was on this little journey, when I was putting it into YouTube, there's nobody talking about it. Nobody. There's like TED Talks and like educational videos, but there's nobody giving their own lived experience. So I want to share my lived experience of it, and hopefully it'll help someone else out. So I can share my first experience of going to the psychiatrist, being referred, or like answer any questions about it, because I wish that I had someone to watch their lived experience before I went, but I didn't have that. So that's the purpose of this. It might make one person feel better, and that's okay, and that's amazing. And I just want to like share this, and also in light of mental health awareness, but also like mental illness. I'm rambling here, but bear with me. I think it's important. Everybody talks about well-being and mental health and mental well-being, but not a lot of people talk about mental illness and being on medications, prescribed medications, antidepressants, antipsychotics, like whatever it is. And I think that that's really important, that while our society is becoming more well-versed in mental well-being, mental health, and doing meditation, how good it is, and just like minding your mind and doing things to keep your mental well-being high, I still think that there's a lot of work to do around mental illness and the illnesses that come along, like the prescribed illnesses. That was the reason that I want to like make these videos, so that I can share my lived experience. Next time I go to my psychiatrist will be in November, so maybe I'll do another update and you'll see how I am. I'm also changing my medication now from here on, so I'm doubling one of them, so I can give like an update. If people are interested, I can share the treatment, but right now I'm not gonna do that. I'm just trying to dip my toe in the water before I jump in. So this was me prepping for my psychiatrist appointment. Thank you so much for listening. If you're feeling bad in any way, go to a GP if you can, ring a helpline. That's my advice to you. Thank you for watching. See you again. Subscribe, please. Lovies.